There we go. Fantastic. What's up, folks? Leroy decided to duck down and to do whatever he's doing as he pops up out of nowhere, like some sort of jackrabbit or something. I don't know. But yeah, we are News 19 WOT. Oh, somebody retweeted us. News 19 did?
Who?
News
Who's
19
that?
Proper, I think, retweeted us. That's fun.
They probably made a mistake.
They didn't realize what was happening. They just saw, oh, News 19 Nerds, we'll just do out whatever. And nobody stopped them to do whatever. But yeah.
They must not have management at night.
I don't know what's happening up there. But yes, this is the We Trying channel. I'm Michael, that's Leroy. And Leroy is loving life as a brand new daddy number with the second baby here, right?
Yep. Second one.
How's that feel?
What's that commercial? Life comes at you fast.
Life comes at you fast. I love it.
That's pretty much how it happened.
Okay, fair enough. I'm trying to.
So being a new dad allows for you to miss all things nerdy because you miss the Bethesda Microsoft stream. You miss. I still haven't watched Obi-Wan's episode 5 or Miss Marvel's episode 2. I still haven't seen. I finally finished Diabolical from Amazon's The Boys. I haven't even started The Boys season 3.
Okay.
I did get to Stranger Things. I did finish Stranger Things. So
I still haven't seen the last episode of I guess episode 7 yet.
Didn't it have a more of a horror feel this time?
Yeah,
like they leaned more into not the campy but more of the horror elements.
Well, I think they were. Yeah, but I think they kind of set us up with that, right? When they announced that like Robert Englund was going to be a guest character in this one.
No, they did not, because even though I know who Robert Englund was,
did you not see the trailer?
No, for season 4.
They definitely leaned into the horror stuff.
But you know my feeling on trailers. I watch it that one time, and then I'm like, okay, I'll watch this, and then I try to stay away in case somebody spoils the plot in a trailer. Okay. Because supposedly the season 4's part 2 trailer spoils parts of
the last episode or whatever. The ones where okay, cool.
So I haven't watched that new trailer that came the Easter egg that came up at the end of that one. I haven't watched that.
Okay. Zayla Maru, D. Steezel are in the chat. Welcome, people. Hope more people come in. We might just get in new people since we're just streaming whenever we want to.
Hey, whoever comes up, the more the merrier.
Yeah. Welcome. We are streaming on both the News 19 Nerds and the We Trying channel. Again, we'll continue to do that until we migrate completely over to We Trying. But thank you guys for coming in here into the chat. So this kind of what we're going to talk about tonight is essentially our thoughts on the Bethesda and Xbox showcase. We did the state of play for Sony when that happened. We actually, what did we do? We watched it and we did both because we watched it. And then that Saturday we did a press play on it essentially.
Correct.
So we figured we'd give the same love to Microsoft here. Anywhere you want to start in particular on this thing? Did you like it?
Let's do both. Let's talk about, because we're recapping Xbox and Bethesda, but aren't we also going to talk about the Summer Games Fest?
Did you watch it?
So here's the thing. I have to kind of do both because it's one of those things where you like when as they're going on, like E3, a lot of people were asking, is E3 really necessary? Do we still need E3? Why are we still doing this? And then when we didn't have E3, everybody was like, oh, we need E3. But then Jeff Keighley did his Summer Games Fest, and Keighley does a good job of the Game Awards. But he really tried to temper people's expectations when he was doing the Summer Game Fest to say, hey, this is what we're going to do, so that don't expect, this huge extravaganza, because it's hard to put on one of these shows. And that came before we got the Bethesda Microsoft showcase, and I watched part of it, and I'm going to be honest with you, the Microsoft did a better job with their games, but the summer showcase was a better presentation. Does that make sense? Because as much as I like Todd Howard, he still is Todd Howard. He's still just a developer trying to be an entertainer. Does that make sense? And
Sure. I don't agree with what you're saying, but I understand what you're saying.
but
Yes.
go ahead. Tell me what you don't agree with
Well,
as far as
I
that.
don't know that Todd Howard is ever trying to be an entertainer. He just talks.
Well, I guess what I'm saying
Like
is
I never get the impression that he's trying to be a Jeff Keighley. I just think he doesn't have the necessarily the same charisma as Jeff Keighley. But I don't think he's trying to be that.
maybe I'm wording it wrong. I think if you've looked at like when Apple does their things, these huge companies are trying to hawk their products, trying to get us to part with our dollars, and they're huge sales presentations. Everybody remembers Apple and um, what's his name? He passed away.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, and you got Steve Ballmer. You have all these different tech people, and so
Mhm.
video games are starting to do the same thing, having these presentations. And I don't think they're trying to be entertainers, but they have to be entertaining,
Sure.
and they can't be dry. And Zayla Maru, good comment. You don't think? Hold on, how do I? This is a good comment. You don't think Todd is much of a pitchman? It's not that I don't think he is. The problem these games or these showcases have is that they need someone to be the pitchman, and that's the kind of hit or miss that you get with a lot of these things. Here's D. Steezels puts up this comment. E3 used to be the San Diego Comic Con of the gaming world. Now it's hit or miss for years, and rightfully so. It has been hit or miss for years. People are openly at questioning, why do we still have these things? And then when they were gone, now we have them, and it's like we're grateful for them, but they're still a little off. Does that make sense? There's still something missing from them. And I wonder, is it the live audience? Is it the fact that everything is Zoom and you don't have, because we've talked about this, E3 doesn't have Sony anymore. E3 doesn't have, everybody does their own thing now. So is that part of it where these little things are glaring?
Sure. Um, I think I think the live audience definitely adds an extra factor to stuff for sure. I think the idea of being able to gauge that live interaction with somebody whenever they do something is great, and you kind of feel that in the audience,
Mhm.
especially when it was at the Microsoft Theater for Xbox or whatever, or when they were at the convention center for the Sony press conferences and the Nintendo Directs. I think that's a big thing for sure. But for me, it's funny that you thought the presentation for Jeff's was better because I thought I enjoyed the presentation of Microsoft, the Xbox, and Bethesda
Really?
because the thing with Jeff was I do think he has charisma and he is a presenter, but they kept
Mhm.
going back and forth between him. I like the fact that for the most part, I think we saw four faces during the Xbox and Bethesda thing. We saw Sarah Bond, we saw Todd Howard, we saw Pete Hines, and Phil Spencer. And then beyond that, it was essentially just people talking the entire time, or not people. They were showing games essentially the entire time. I like the idea of just showing me game after game after game. And in terms of setting expectations, I like that Sarah Bond said from the jump, hey, instead of doing what a lot of people do every year, of showing you a bunch of stuff that's coming, we're only going to show you stuff for the next 12 months. So they're more than, I mean, there's always a chance something could get pushed and not make its date, but more than likely, I feel like 80% of the games that we saw are probably going to come out within the next 12 months. So at least you have a better time frame of, okay, I know I can play this game eventually within the next 12 months. Because when we saw Pragmata, that looked cool. We don't know when that thing was coming.
Probably never.
Yeah, exactly. So I like
Not
that
only
idea.
that, not only that, we don't even know what the gameplay for that is. We just got
Right.
a very stylish trailer.
Some little girl and an astronaut. I don't know.
Yep.
Um, So with the exception of one part that was just kind of, it wasn't bad. I was just like, well, this, who knows when this is coming, but we'll get to that. I liked Xbox's presentation more because it gave us an expectation of here's when everything's coming, and whether or not we got an exact date, we know it's either going to be this this half of the latter half of 2022 or the first half of 2023. So I think that was cool.
I think you put a very, very good spin on it. I I like that part of it. I feel like, to me, Microsoft, and I said this before. To me, Microsoft had to wow us because you have to justify buying all these studios
Sure.
with your first party titles. Um, your first party titles to me have to sell me on buying an Xbox. And I will say this: they did sell me on buying an Xbox, but it was one game that I was like, it was Starfield,
Hmm.
and I appreciated seeing Starfield, seeing Redfall, but knowing that they were pushback, but I still appreciated seeing them. I like the fact that they shotgunned us games. I just like the presentation of Jeff Keighley's a little bit more because I felt like that's the presentation Microsoft should have had because Microsoft, to me, had to play catch up. They don't have they don't have Spider-Man, they don't have a God of War or a Last of Us. They don't have these games that you were like, I need to buy a system for that game. And I felt like that's what Microsoft should have had. And they didn't. That razzle dazzle should have been there. And that's kind of how I feel. I love seeing these people in these games, but I just still feel like that showmanship was necessary for Microsoft because essentially these are sales conventions.
Sure.
And
Uh, yeah. I think that Xbox is, or not Xbox, Jeff Keighley and his thing. I think that was cool. I do wonder if Jeff was kind of feeling the idea of, oh, I don't really have anything big to deliver in this one, so it was good that I set these expectations.
mhm,
Like the one part where I felt like it kind of stumbled were two parts. With the Rock, I love the Rock. I love Dwayne Johnson. So? Did you watch his thing?
no,
It was bad, and I'm not used to. So essentially,
bad Dwayne Johnson.
well, it was like the way it was presented. So Jeff tossed to something from Dwayne from The Rock, and clearly it was taped, obviously, because I don't think anything that he tossed to people that were there weren't. It wasn't expected to be live, but
Mhm,
The Rock was in his gym or whatever, um, working out, had his shirt off, and he tossed to like a 30-second clip of the Black Adam trailer,
mhm,
which by that time had already come out. So it
yeah.
was weird that The Rock was there because they made it seem like The Rock was going to pitch something on video games. He didn't. It didn't seem like it was a well prepared segment, and it just seemed kind of out of place and kind of like, Rock, you can do better. You're as much as we talked about whether or not he's a good wrestler. We will. I cannot say he is not a showman. The Rock is definitely a showman, and that just 30 seconds that just did not work for me.
Well, here's the thing. Name an actor who came out who has been pitching a game or pitched anything that you remember from any of these E3s, conventions, Sony, any of this.
Keanu Reeves.
That's the only one.
Yeah, but what I'm even if I don't remember them, I know they pitched games. He didn't even pitch a game.
But what I'm saying is, it's we were talking about this over the weekend. Me and my sister, my wife, we were talking about. My sister asked the question: has any woman ever hosted Family Feud?
Hmm.
And we were like, no. And then my sister goes, and then Katie goes, who could, as a what woman could host Family Feud?
Hmm.
And we were naming people, and then we were like getting into it about, well, that person's an actor. They A stand-up comedian is different than an actor who only just acts for the lines. And The Rock is one of those people who has been able to do things live, but recently everything's been scripted. And we both know that sometimes when you rush something, because it probably was rushed, the 30-second clip, it probably wasn't produced or up to what we think The Rock should have
Sure.
done. But I also think it has to do with the fact of some people just don't have that charisma. And when you don't have a live audience, it's hard to pull it off. And D. Steele was right. Reeves and Vin Diesel came out to promote that crappy Fast and the Furious game that you guys tell me about. But remember, they had Vin Diesel in Art 2, and
Hey,
that
question for
looked
you:
bad.
is your baby dying over there? What's happening?
No, he's got the hiccups. You can hear
Okay.
that?
Yes.
Oh, let me go get him then.
No, I just want to make sure your baby is fine.
I hope not.
Okay. Audience, y'all let me know if y'all could hear Leroy's new baby over there just having a hiccup fit as he's just talking. I'm hoping the baby's fine. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, um, as he goes and gets little Owen. Oh, there's the child.
Oh,
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
so this is Owen. I'm gonna get his bottle in 10 minutes.
Sure.
So I have my bottle right here. Uh,
I hope you guys don't drink the same liquid.
I hope not.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
but D. Diesel was right. Reeves and Vin Diesel, and you remember them for two totally different reasons. You remember Vin Diesel for and Michelle Rodriguez. Uh, you remember them, but not for a
Who
good
is
reason.
Reeves?
Keanu,
Oh wow, I couldn't put that together for the longest.
Keanu
Okay,
Reeves.
good,
But we
got it.
remember Keanu Reeves because when he came out, that live audience presentation, and again, Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez were live, but we remember them for two totally different reasons. And I
Mhm.
think that part is where The Rock failed. They just filmed something, threw it up, and
Well,
it was old.
yeah, and again, it wasn't even if you filmed it, I feel like you can do it better. But for
Mhm.
me, it was you didn't even announce a game at the Games Fest. Oh, look at the baby.
Hey, buddy.
That's
Hey,
cute.
hey, you want to pass it, buddy?
Um,
Come here, honey
I love
badger.
this.
Come here, honey badger. There we go. Okay.
Does Owen have any thoughts on Summer Games Fest or any of the?
So Owen and Evan both liked. Uh, they what was it that we watched? We did not watch the Callisto Project with them,
Thank
but I did watch. Name some games, and I can tell you which ones we watched. They did.
Starfield.
We did watch Starfield. Both of them watched Starfield. They did like Starfield. Um, they got a little bored with Starfield, but Owen really liked Stray
Hmm.
from State of Play. He really liked Stray. We watched that quite a few times. Um, Redfall was interesting because it caught Evan and Owen's attention,
Hmm.
but again, it's still one of those games where I was just like, I'm not a four-person co-op player,
Sure.
and as much as I think this is interesting, and I think Redfall is it's probably a good game. It's not a game that I really too particularly care for. This game is a game that I'm buying an Xbox for.
Hmm.
I am buying an Xbox for Starfield. And now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot to that Starfield needs to bring to the table. The narrative has to be great. I'm not a fan of how the ships fly, based on how we know space operates and how the ships in space operated to me under the same physics a ship would operate on Earth in gravity. I noticed that they didn't have thrusters on the side of the ships. The angles that ships were able to take, I
Now, when
thought
you
were.
say that, well, go ahead, finish it up.
I just feel like, as much as I like the shipboard fight, the ship fighting, and being able to steal a ship, and some of those things, I still feel like the best example of how ships operate in space has been Battlestar Galactica and Expanse, and I would like to see those mechanics in the game. But I
So when
know
you
that's
talk about
hard.
the, yeah, but I was going to say also when you talk about there's like no side thrusters, do we think that's also because maybe that particular ship wasn't designed that way? Because you said you can design your own ships.
True, but I feel like as when they're showing space battles, never one of those ships strafed left or right,
Hmm.
or strafed up and down. And so we know from watching actual, we know in physics the way gravity works. And like I said, I'm buying Starfield. Um, I'm going to get Starfield.
Hmm.
I'm going to get an Xbox for Starfield. I'm personally invested in that game and I want to see it play. Matter of fact, I told my brother about it and he was like, because he has a PC, and I was like, you're going to want to see this. And I haven't heard from him what he thinks about it, but
Hmm.
he definitely, I piqued his interest with it. That being said, I appreciated Microsoft telling us those games have been delayed, but here's what they will look like. And I appreciated that because they didn't just rest on their laurels to say, here's a shiny new trailer, but here's gameplay.
Okay. So, what time is it? Is it almost?
11:52.
All right. We could probably talk about a few of these before you go get the bottle. I am looking at a list from what is NME. I don't know
Hmm.
what website that is,
I know
but
what you're talking about. Yeah.
okay. I just pulled their website and they have a list of the games. So the first one they showed off was Redfall in-game footage.
Hmm.
We know it got delayed. We know it's made by Arcane, the people
Hmm.
who did Prey
Yep.
and Dishonored.
Hmm.
I believe it was like Dishonored 1.
Hmm.
Vampire game. Well, you're killing vampires. You're
Four
shooting.
person vampires and their familiars.
Yes. You can either play it in solo or co op up to four people.
Hmm.
Thoughts? Yes, no, liked it.
I liked it. I enjoyed the idea that here's this island, it's open world, that you're not only fighting vampires and you have powers depending on who you pick. I like the fact that it was you fight familiars, you have to explore this island, this basically tourist trap. I like the different characters that they had.
Hmm.
It's very rare, again, as we progress with video games, that a black girl is a protagonist, and we're seeing
Sure.
more characters that look like the people in the real world. So I was very appreciative of that. Again, I like the game. It just wasn't one of the games that I was like, that will make me buy an Xbox.
Right.
It was, but I really liked it. If I had Game Pass, I would definitely download it. I would definitely check that game out.
Okay. Next one we had up was Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Hold on,
Hollow
go
Knight.
back. What did you think of Redfall? Because you were the ones who you liked the trailer when we first saw it, even though we didn't see gameplay.
I like that cinematic trailer. I like the feel of it. Um, I don't know that this is. I don't know what separates this from like other first-person shooters. Really,
Hmm.
I do trust the pedigree of Arcane Studios in terms of what they've done with Dishonored and um, Prey, and I know like they're very good about locomotion in their games, especially like Dishonored, when they have even in
Hmm.
Deathloop when you have the blink ability in terms of being able to teleport essentially from one place to another. So I'm curious to see what those powers are going to look like fully. And I would probably play this with other people if I could find a group of three or four people to play with, or two or three people to play with. What the game is going to be. It didn't necessarily wow me fidelity wise in terms of like, oh, this is crazy. I can't believe what I'm seeing on
Hmm.
Xbox Series X. But not every game has to if the gameplay is great. So we'll just have to wait until whenever it comes out in 2023.
And see, that's what I was saying before about like you these. What I loved about Starfield was how it looked
Hmm.
and the fact of here's a game from Bethesda. We know it's going to have all of all of these different features. I enjoyed seeing Starfield, but two of the knocks that I've seen so far that really resonate, and it has to make you think: how is this different than No Man's Sky? Two,
Wait, how was what different from No Man's Sky?
Starfield.
Oh, okay.
How is it different from No Man's Sky? Because a lot of people are like, I can do all this in No Man's Sky. Um, Also, some of their character models looked a little dated. Like the people, they looked a little dated. I get that, but the way it looked was amazing. But it also goes back to that one thing that you said: gameplay. And
Hmm.
Redfall to me looks like a game. It looks different, but to me, it never Redfall never made me say that's a next gen game. Does that make sense? And that's what I was kind of like, this is cool. But I was like, am I buying am I buying a next generation console for this game? And
Sure.
that's one of the things that I think bothered me a little bit about Redfall.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what. I think we've talked about this every time we talk about these current consoles. what does it mean to be? What game is like? Oh, this is why I have a console. I don't know that we've really seen anything that
Ratchet
impressive
and Clank.
on Series X, and I think it's kind of a double edged sword for Microsoft because for the in first year of Xbox Series X and S, Microsoft had this edict that it was going to play on that system as well as Xbox One. And because it plays on both systems, you're kind of like, well, if it can play on the older system, I don't really know what I need the newer system for, unless you want it to be faster and run smoother. But other than that, like it'll still play on the older system. So it's going to be interesting. Probably the next presentation that Xbox and Bethesda give. Maybe that might even be next year when we finally see, okay, this stuff is only going to be on Xbox Series X. We're seeing what everything's going to do. So Redfall, maybe there's stuff behind the scenes, or like like in the machine that we don't know about that's making it. Oh, this is where I need this game on this particular system right now. Yeah, it looks like any first-person console or FPS.
And that's exactly why I liked summer GameCom, or not GameCom, Gamescom, the Summer Games Fest, because even though.
And for anybody who's new to our chat, if you are watching on the News 19 Nerds channel, that link I put in is just to find our Are We Trying channel. So go ahead.
The Last of Us Part 1 was a Games Fest. Like, hey, this is what's coming. That game, even though I don't need it, that game, the way it looked, the way it captured your imagination, was like, that's why I'm buying a PS5. And this is a thing that really got me, that the reason why I kind of knocked Microsoft a little bit is The Last of Us Part 1 has already come out twice. And I'm still considering buying a PS5 version of this game. I own both versions. That game, even though I'm on the record of saying stop doing remakes, and I don't think Last of Us needs a remake, but the way it looked, and if it plays anything like The Last of Us Part 2, holy cow. And that's where I was like, where was that from Microsoft? You're about to talk about Hollow Knight, and I love the Hollow Knight franchise or whatever, but again, Hollow Knight looks like I can play it on a Switch.
Well, I think the original Hollow Knight is on a Switch.
But you're making my point. Why do I need to spend this extra money to play a game like Hollow Knight? Gameplay is probably great, but what are you giving me that's going to make me cop this extra $500 when gas, depending on where you live, is $5 a gallon?
And one thing that we haven't said, we keep talking about, and to Microsoft's credit, we keep talking about them trying to make you get their super duper system. Again, they don't care. We've said that before. They don't care if you have the new system. All they want you to have is Game Pass.
True.
So they don't care if you buy the system or not, because you can play it on a Series X. You can play it on an Xbox One. I'm pretty sure there are Samsung TVs coming out now that have an Xbox app on the TV that they really push. So
they're trying to push the Game Pass on Roku.
Right. So
but again,
they don't care if you get that console. They just want you to get the Game Pass.
I think they do want you to get that console. My problem is, if I'm going to get your console or your Game Pass, how are you going to get me when I have one of these? Again, these are expensive. This little dude ain't cheap. And I've got 2 of them now. And I'm not even one of those people who's got like 3 kids and tuition to pay for. How do you explain? Now, Game Pass is a good way around it. You get Game Pass, you play these games day and date on the system. But what I'm saying is, Microsoft's game lineup, where was the game that's going to make me say, hey, buddy, I may not be able to buy, name brand formula this month. You will have to get, you got to downgrade. We're not going to get Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We got to get the bag cereal this week. What is going to make me pony up that again? Because these things to me are sales pitches. Hey,
sure.
Hey, you awake?
Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Hold that thought. I gotta go get a bottle. See,
Go get the bottle. Look at the baby. So Leroy's gonna go feed his child as he should, as a good
Come
dad.
on.
Oh, that's cute. But I can kind of vamp while he's doing that. For me and chat, you guys can kind of fill in here. D Steezel says, I'm cool with all the Resident Evil remakes and definitely the KOTOR remakes. More old school games need to be remade, in my opinion. Interesting thought, D Steezel. I've been on record saying I don't really care for remakes, but if I could get like remasters or like reimaginings of games, I think that's a little bit different. Like the idea of those Resident Evil remakes are cool. I guess they're, and I never know the technical term for a remake versus a remaster versus a reimagining, all that stuff. But to take an older game and totally redo it with upgraded physics and cutscenes and gameplay for modern audiences, I think it's great. So what 2 and 3, even though I can't play Resident Evil games because they make me nauseous, seeing them is incredible, and I want to see what 4 looks like once it finally comes out next year. FF7 remake. A lot of you in the chat know that me personally, I no, we'll do this. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. I can do that. It's wonderful. Um, I've been on record as saying I never really liked the original Final Fantasy VII um, because I didn't care about Cloud and all this stuff, and I like the translation, but I did enjoy Final Fantasy VII remake. So, yeah, I would be down for a remake. People are talking about KOTOR. Yeah, I would love Chrono Trigger to come back. I would really like them to remake Chrono Trigger in a really pretty high definition 2D art style, or maybe a 3D version of it. I don't know. That would be interesting.
But enjoy Chrono Crisis.
Chrono Cross.
Whatever.
I won't. You know how I feel about Chrono Cross. I don't care about
Chrono,
that.
Chrono Cross, Chrono Steak, whatever it's called. You better enjoy that.
What were we talking about? Oh, High on Life. That is the game, the first person shooter game with it's from the creator of, well, because we have
Show
cool
me some
stuff.
footage.
Yeah, I can
Show
do
me
that.
that beautiful bean footage.
Let's see.
I will say this, D Steezel, I'm not a. So I saw this, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna be honest with you. If I saw this game on its own, I wouldn't be interested. But the fact that Justin Roiland is involved with it
Mhm.
makes me want to check it out. That's the
J-
only.
I'm pretty sure JB Smooth is the voice of that gun right there. I think that
He
was his voice.
looks like
That
JB
was
Smooth.
wow. Okay. Anyway, no
Oh,
comment. But yeah,
I'm wrong.
for me, I agree with the fact of I really don't care about it, but it's Justin Roiland, so I'm sure it's going to be
That's
funny.
what I'm saying. Like I'll check it out. Oh, just because it's Justin Roiland.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, here's the thing. D. Steezel just brought it up, and here's two things I want to address. He says this will be the third time The Last of Us is being released. Skyrim did the same thing, and that's what Naughty Dog seems to be doing. And say what you will, that game is going to sell, especially if it is paired in conjunction with The Last of Us TV show dropping. And if it drops and it hits as hard as HBO is expecting it to hit, expect that game to fly off the shelf. Now,
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of all the remakes. I've been on the record of saying that. However, comma, I have been wrong on several occasions on this channel that we just started.
Hmm.
If you go back to our old channel, man, the times I was wrong is immense, but
Legendary.
legendary wrongness.
Yeah.
Uh, I I would like to see new stuff, but the Dead Space remake looks incredible. The Resident Evil 4 remake, it's hard to look away from that. It's hard to look away and say, I'm not interested.
Sure.
And here's the sad part, the Resident Evil 4 remake and the Dead Space remake has me more excited than any new game coming out soon.
Okay.
And that's why I'm a little disappointed in Microsoft's presentation, because even though there were games that I liked, there was no game that made me say I'm spending $70 for this. And maybe that's the point of Game Pass. We're not going to make you spend $70. Just get Game Pass, and you can play these day and date.
Hmm. So you keep talking about that Microsoft was disappointing. Did you think PlayStation was disappointing? Was there a game there that you're like, ooh, I need this?
I wouldn't say disappointing. I would say I like their presentation more, but I
Mhm.
also realized that their presentation. Oh, good burp, burp like a man. Oh, good job, buddy. Right. Um, I was disappointed in Sony because there were games that I know that are coming out that they did not show. They didn't show God of War. They did not show Last of Us Part One. They waited until Games Fest to show it, which I was
Mhm.
like, why would you not show this at your presentation? What deal did you make?
I
They
mean, I'm
showed,
sure Jeff probably did all kinds of stuff to make that happen.
and that's what I'm saying. So like I and that's I said the problem that I have with Microsoft's is that Sony has these games loaded in the barrel. We know Wolverine's coming out. We know there's a Spider-Man game coming out. Um, to the point where Microsoft released a tweet that said Spider-Man's back on Xbox. And it's like Spider-Man Midnight Suns is back on Xbox. That's not the same as Spider-Man's back on Xbox. You get what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And
Hmm.
that's the problem that I have with Microsoft that I don't have with Sony because I know Sony's going to bring these first party titles because they have these studios. They have Housemark, they have Naughty Dog, they have Ben Studios. They have these PlayStation studios that I know are going to bring. Venom is going to be in the next Spider-Man game with Miles Morales and Peter Parker.
Hmm.
What? Like, I don't have to wait 6 years for that. Like, I'm going to have to wait 6 years for Elder Scrolls.
Sure,
For
sure.
Elders, I'm going to have to like think about it. How long are we going to wait for an Elder Scrolls game?
I mean, it's going to be a minute. I
That,
would
that,
imagine Elder Scrolls 6 would probably come out, I'm going to say 2025. And then I'm going to say Fallout 5 will be 2028.
Evan will go to kindergarten before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Evan is 2,
Wow. And when you go to kindergarten, 4, 5?
4 or 5, I think. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting. I like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you bought all these studios, and I know they have stuff in the pipeline. But again, Sony showed us that they're going to keep bringing it day in day out. And I don't
Hmm.
even know what Ben Studios is bringing, but I'm still playing Days Gone.
Sure.
Um, what does Sony now? Sony has to pick up the slack because their version of Game Pass is nowhere close to what Microsoft is bringing to the table. But that's why I said I was a little disappointed by what Microsoft did, even though I like their presentation.
Let's keep going through the Xbox and Bethesda. Some other stuff they talked about, which was pretty cool. Um, I think Phil Spencer and the Xbox and the Microsoft team, our Xbox team, have done a good job of trying to get more representation from Japan
Hmm.
and those developers. They
Hmm.
talked about essentially the big three Persona games. Elder Scrolls 6 ain't ever coming out. That's what D Diesel says.
I'm just saying.
Um,
I've said this. So Michael, tell them what I said about Rockstar.
oh, you don't believe GTA 6 is ever coming out?
I think GTA 6 is going to be a reboot. I don't think it's going to be GTA 6. And I think, and you know what? I'm gonna go on record. They talk about Elder Scrolls 6. Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to be a 6.
Okay.
Because think about it. What are you going to do? Like 6? They're just gonna reboot Elder Scrolls. I think because that's what they're all doing. They're all rebooting their franchises. They're not doing sequels to these. They're all rebooting their franchises.
Yeah, but the thing with like the Elder Scrolls is those aren't necessarily sequels. Like they're
True.
entirely
I give you
different
that.
stories. Because
True.
like that's how like Final Fantasy keeps going with numbers because they don't necessarily all
Ah,
they're not like direct sequels. They have certain like linking, you know,
you know
uh
what? Pat yourself on
serial
the back. Hold on, let me pat yourself on. How does this work?
things.
Hold on,
Yeah,
Mike. There we go. Pat yourself on the back. You're not just
I
a
hate
pretty
you.
face, sir.
Yeah. But
That
I
that's
mean
the best analogy. Good
yeah,
job.
I think because they're not like direct sequels. I think you'll get an Elder Scrolls 6
Okay, I'll give you that
just
one.
because the people are like the name and the number, knowing oh this is a whole new idea. There may be some linking material, but it's not a complete sequel. I think that's how
You
they
ain't
did it.
never getting a GTA 6 though.
I still think you get the GTA 6.
GTA is going to reboot because they even said they were like, "How would that?" Think about it. Black Mirror was like, "How do we top what happened in 2020?"
Hmm.
Michael, we did stories on murder hornets.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, how do you top 2020?
You're not wrong.
So how
Oh,
how, how does go ahead?
well, no, I was going to keep going. Go ahead.
Go ahead. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Oh, Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and
Mhm.
Persona 5 Royal are coming to Xbox and Windows, PC. Um, hey guys, when is God Howard going to re-release Skyrim directly into our brains? Wow. Yeah. Carlos and Leon. Yeah.
If I wake my baby up for that because of this comment, it was worth it.
I mean, you're
God
not
Howard.
wrong. But yeah, I think that's a good get for Xbox. I talked about this when we did the live reaction as it was happening. I think
Mhm.
it's cool. The only issue is um, it's not necessarily exclusive to Xbox. Those games are also going to come to Sony, which you
Mhm.
would want them to. Um,
Agreed.
but I think it's Xbox trying to be like, hey, we're trying to get Japanese developers and content. In that
Because
same token,
that's where
they
Microsoft has always been weak on getting
yeah
into the East.
they got your boy Hideo.
See that now that thank you for bringing that up because there's a thing. Even though they didn't say what it was, even though they didn't say what the gameplay was, the fact that they got Hideo Kojima and they announced it gives me hope. Because here's the thing: I'll buy an Xbox for a game that he makes, and that's what
So
I'm
you'll
looking
buy
for.
it in like 7 years when that game comes out?
10
Because
years.
I fully believe that game is 7 years away.
I believe it's 10 years away.
Because the
Because
way
here's
you
the thing.
talked about it, I feel like they just had a handshake and said, "Hey, let's work on something." I feel like that's all they've done.
And here's the thing. He's already said he's working on other games. And this is just like Hideo Kojima's gonna do a game for us. So I think Death Stranding 2 is gonna come out probably before this.
Oh, sure.
Um, but the fact that they got him shows that Microsoft is willing to make it's kind of like in business. I've been reading and listening more news things about people when it comes to business. You can't make business partners with people if you vilify them. And that's something that we as fans do that business world does not do. That Microsoft doesn't vilify Sony. Microsoft doesn't vilify the people who work with Sony because they need those people. So
Mhm.
but the fact that they got Kojima and it was like and Kojima has always been a Konami and a Sony guy. The fact that they got that and they'll probably give him carte blanche to do whatever weird crap he comes up with. I'm all on
Mhm.
board. That's another game. And that's what I'm looking for Microsoft. Give me something I can't get anywhere else.
Sure.
And that's what I want Microsoft to do. Give me something I can only get from you.
Yeah, I mean, Hideo said there's some type of technology that Microsoft and Xbox has that is allowing him to do something he couldn't do before in his wildest dreams. People think it has something to do with cloud technology because they've been pushing cloud technology harder than most people. So I don't really know what that means. I don't know if we're going to get another Strand. Is that the genre he's created? Death Stranding, is that a Strand
Mhm.
game? Yeah, maybe it's another. Maybe it's not Death Stranding, but it is something in a Strand genre. I don't know, but
You know
he's
what? I don't
excited.
even care. I don't even care if he doesn't make a Strand game. I don't care if it's entirely new. The fact that that man is willing to create something on this platform is something I'm interested in. And here's a good quote. Here's a good quote. Jared Barkley says, "You don't even have to buy an Xbox." And that's the thing that I like and I dislike. It's a double-edged sword with Microsoft. I don't have to buy an Xbox. But here's the thing: my reptile brain wants to buy an Xbox. It wants to give them my money. And that's the problem. That I want to give them my money, but they
I
have
mean,
not.
you can just give them the money through Game Pass.
But I want to be able to play those games.
Yeah, you can. You can play it everywhere on Game Pass. Don't you understand what Game Pass is?
Yes, I do, but I want an Xbox. I want the Xbox. That's what I'm saying. I want it. So I want, in other words, here's the thing. I don't just want Game Pass. Ugh. Ugh. I want the box. I want it, Michael. Give it to me.
Okay, it's great. I'm glad you had that there as a prop.
I did,
Where did you put your baby as you grabbed the prop?
baby.
Okay, you don't have to hold both. That's
Bro,
got it. Okay,
the Xbox is heavier than the baby.
that's cool. Fantastic.
It's heavier than this baby. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's heavier than the first one.
Okay. Um, yeah, I get that. Let's see. Is this,
Go on. What's the next game?
um, Riot Games coming to Xbox Game Pass. I don't really play any of the Riot games. I know it's huge. Like League of Legends is huge. It's just not for me.
That
But
was a
that's
big get.
yeah, that's a big get
That's
for
a
them coming
very
for
big get.
Game Pass PC. So you got League of Legends, baby discarded box secure. Dang. League of Legends World Rift, Legends of Runeterra, Teamfight Tactics, and Valorant. All that stuff is coming to PC.
Is it
Or
Valorant or Valorian?
I've always heard Valorant.
Okay,
But
I wasn't sure. You know,
I
I'm
don't
bad
know.
at pronouncing stuff, so
Yeah. D Steezel, you don't only have to buy a PlayStation either
yes,
because
you
their
do.
games are getting
You
released
take
to
that back,
PC.
D Steezel. You take that back.
So D Steezel, I would push back a little bit in the fact that they are not going all in the way Xbox is. Like a lot of their stuff is coming to PC, but I don't know if everything is. The way Xbox is like, oh, you can play this anywhere you want.
And also, it takes some years to get it to PC. Because to think about it, in the state of play, they just announced Spider-Man for PC, and we got an updated Spider-Man before it even came to PC.
Hmm. Hmm. Sure. Let's see. A Plague Tale Requiem. I didn't play A Plague Tale Innocence. I think that's what the first one
Yes, it
was
is.
called. But I know a lot of people like that. A lot of people really got kind of freaked out by the rat physics because I guess rats are big in terms of
It
the plague
is.
taking over the stuff. And I think in this one
And
you
you can
can
sick people on. You can push people into rats. I thought that was cool.
cool.
I love the
So
rat. The rat
that
physics made me was like, oh,
okay, rat physics made it. Forza Motorsport.
looked beautiful. Like
Yeah,
my baby is beautiful, but Forza Motorsport, that's a different level of beauty.
my one thing with Forza Motorsport is I think it's cool,
Hmm.
but like I got Forza Horizon,
Hmm.
and that's kind of all I need. Um, for me,
Look at that though.
oh, it looks incredible.
It
The
looks
issue is
amazing.
because the one thing I like about Horizon over Motorsport is Horizon is more kind of like just driving around the country.
Hmm.
Motorsport is definitely more simulation style racing, gear heads, changing suspensions, and all that stuff and everything. Um, I don't want to get into that. I just want like more arcade style racing. So that's probably
Okay,
why I would like
I'll give you that. I'll
Horizon
give you that.
over
You're right.
Motorsport.
Because motorsport is difficult.
Yeah.
You know who would like motorsport?
Who? Oh, Nick.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
That like
I would,
like I wish is motorsport day and date.
if it's its first party studio, yeah, it's day and date.
I wish we had a way because I would love to get Nick's reaction to
I'm sure Nick
motorsport.
has an Xbox now. He making money, right?
What I'm saying is, I would love to get him because remember he was the one who told us about NASCAR games,
Hmm.
and he was like, and we played the NASCAR games. I would love to get his his take on the difference, like you talked about, like the getting the two of you to play Forza Horizon and Motorsport, and the difference and pointing out the differences in those games.
Sure.
I would love that. You know what I also would love? If the two of you could get with a real driver, like someone
Sure.
who really drives and does this for a living and can say, this is what they did well. This is what they need to do better at with. They're shifting this in a car this size, the physics. Like that's what I would really love to see.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Uh, and sticking with racing games, Forza Horizon 5 is going to get Hot Wheels DLC. That looks cool. There's nothing else to say. Playing with Hot Wheels is fun as a kid. These tracks look wild. It's just crazy loop to loops and turns and
Mhm.
twists and U bends, all the stuff. I'm down for that.
I'm down for that. What's
That
the next
DLC is
game?
July 19th. Microsoft Flight Simulator DLC. You're getting new
Did you see the
helicopters,
Pelican?
Airbuses. I did because
The
at first they
Pelican.
showed the 40th anniversary stuff. They said, "Oh, that's cool. That's coming in November." and then you heard that Halo music. I was like, oh wait, and the Pelican showed up, and that was that launched Sunday because it came
I'm,
out as soon
I'm
as they
not
launched the
gonna
trailer.
lie, that looked amazing, and that's what I want to see from Microsoft.
Hmm.
That right there, because when that Halo music came on, when I was watching it, and I wish I'd have watched it live because that would have been one of those moments where like the audience would have been like, wait a minute, and you hear the oh,
Hmm.
that's what I want from Microsoft. You can't get that experience anywhere else. You have to come to us for it. It's like,
Chris 20, go ahead.
go ahead. I was going to say,
Chris 24M just says our Xbox Series X in the stores now. I don't really go to retail stores a lot anymore, to be honest. I've heard that they are. I just haven't seen them myself.
so some of them are, from what I've heard from people who see, I've seen, this is anecdotal evidence. People have been able to secure them easily. I haven't seen them in the store. I've heard people have been able to have seen them in the store. Personally, I have not. Um, but it's still a ways away before you're able to go into a store to buy one, and that's one of the biggest problems these consoles have with next gen. You cannot go into a store and just pick one up off the shelf. So
Right.
where the developers don't have any incentive to buy up to buy whatever is necessary to upgrade these games to next gen, if only 5 million people have these consoles and the other 9 are with scalpers.
Hmm. Next game. This is one I think you were looking forward to. I don't know. We'll just pop it in right here.
Is that
Scorn.
Scorn? No, I
Yeah.
was not looking forward to
I
it.
thought you were
That
looking forward just because it was a HR
no,
Geeker or whatever.
I like the fact that they made the game. I like the
Hmm.
fact that someone put the effort and the energy into it. But you get that devil shit off my screen. I know the Lord, and that is not what He intended.
I
And
mean,
this
it
is
is it is
keep in
wild.
mind, this is a man who loves Dead Space and cannot wait for Callisto Project.
Yeah.
That, sir, that,
It's rough.
whoo,
It is rough.
it is not something I want. However, comma, for those people who want it, bravo.
There we
Have
go.
at it. You
Have
can
at
have
it.
that game. You,
Okay.
I hope you enjoy it. I hope it sells a lot of copies.
Hmm.
This man right here will not be playing it.
They also announced Overwatch 2 is
Now
coming to in October.
that
Um,
I think a lot of people are going to be excited about that.
so it's weird. I've never played Overwatch. I've watched it, and
Hmm.
I can kind of understand what's happening when I watch somebody like an esports matchup or whatever.
Hmm.
But
You like
I,
Overwatch, buddy? Do you like Overwatch?
the little bit I am on like different, Twitch or like Reddit forums and stuff like that, it seems like the people are kind of divided with Overwatch because they changed it from 6v6 to 5v5,
My question
which
is,
that killed a lot of the esports community in terms of like professional esports players getting paid because essentially you have one less person on the team
so here's my question:
now. Hmm.
why do that? Like, I, like
So
I
what Blizzard said was they found that they could make it a different way to play the game in the 5v5 mode
mhm,
as opposed to 6v6. They thought, I think, because essentially people, the way the format was, you would have two tanks on your team. Now it's
mhm.
one tank, so it makes the games. I think it makes the games go faster.
There's a different way to strategize the game.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think that's what they said. But
okay,
again, I'm not an expert, so I don't know for sure. But I think it
okay.
looks cool, and I like the idea of them just adding more and more different heroes and stuff. I think that's cool.
Personally,
Um,
I'm not an Overwatch guy. I'm not one of those. I don't play those games because I don't want my feelings hurt.
yeah. Okay.
And I like single player games. I don't want my feelings hurt, but I do. I will say this: Overwatch and Apex Legends to me has some of the best character designs, and I've
Mhm.
seen. And again, I love their action figures. They're cool. I've never bought any, but I love the character designs, and I love the way the different characters they design in Overwatch. So I'm on board.
Okay, the next one I'm excited about because it's a 4x strategy game. I love like Civilization. I love
Mhm.
Age of Empires. World of Warcraft, all that kind of stuff. I love those strategy games.
Oh yeah, you're a
Uh,
nerd.
Thank you. Yeah, but I love a good turn-based strategy game. It's called Aura History Untold. It's said it is from the minds of some of the best strategy games, but it doesn't say which ones. So I'm curious which ones it is. But I figured you would like the trailer because it has
Go
your
ahead.
girl's voice in it. and I can remember her name.
History is filled with moments of greatness.
Oh, you didn't see
Shogo!
this?
Some well
No.
known, some
Wait a minute, is this
lost to
Civilization
time.
6?
But
No,
what
Civilization 6
about
already
the history
exists.
that could have been if you were its architect?
It's a game in the same style as that.
Yeah,
How
that's my
would
boo.
you reshape
Yes.
the world?
Oh,
What new stories would you tell?
buddy, you gotta hear this. You gotta hear the voice, buddy.
And when your people speak, would you listen? How would you lead them in this new world?
Your child does not care.
Come on, there you go. You hear
History
your stepmama's
is
voice?
filled with
Wow.
moments of greatness.
Not your stepmama's
But
voice.
He heard it.
Will be yours.
He
Okay.
heard it. He heard his stepmama's voice.
All right, cool.
Katie knows what's up.
Wow. Okay. Great.
Katie
That's
knows what's
wonderful.
up. That's his stepmama.
Okay.
Oh, I love her.
Let's see. We talked about Hideo. Elder Scrolls Online High. I'm sure that's big for somebody. The people that love it, I'm sure they love it. I don't really care about Elder Scrolls Online like that.
Ouch. Take that, ZeniMax.
Yeah, they're hurting for my money, I'm sure. Diablo 4.
Now, I watched the trailer for Diablo 4.
Mhm.
That was good. I don't want
You
to
ever,
play it.
you ever played it? Obviously, you ever played a Diablo game?
I've tried,
Mhm.
and I'm not that guy.
Okay.
The Diablo 4, like those type games, like XCOM, Diablos, I'm not one of those type dudes. I don't have the Halo Wars. I'm not that guy.
Well, so they do have like a similar isometric perspective, but
Mhm.
like Diablo is like usually real. I think they're all real time, as opposed to like XCOM and Halo Wars are turn based. Well, yeah, those are XCOM's turn based. I don't know if Halo. I think Halo Wars is turn based.
XCOM is turn based. What I'm saying is, I don't like the way
That
the
perspective?
board is. Yes, I'm
Okay.
not. And you know what it reminds me of?
What?
Zaxxon. And
Oh,
I
okay.
hate Zaxxon. I hated that game
Okay.
because of the way it's the
Sure.
slant.
Yeah.
I'm disoriented by it. So
Okay.
I know that's probably not a popular thing to say because Diablo and all those games have massive fans. And please don't at me as I put my handle in here, but I would love to hear from you.
Mhm.
But I'm just that the way the board is set up, it's just not for me.
Okay. Fallout 76, The Pit Expedition.
It looked great, but I hate Fallout 76.
All right. Yeah.
I'm not a Fallout. That game, Bethesda burned me on the last Fallout, which was Las Vegas or New Vegas. I liked 4 okay, but I just was kind of falled out. And 76, I was like, nope, I'm out. I'm out. Screw you.
As Dusk Falls. This one's cool. I think this has some of the people.
Show me, because I don't remember it.
Okay. I can do that
Show me.
with our new technology here.
Give me that beautiful beam footage, sir.
This is the one that kind of looks like a stop motion graphic. It's a narrative adventure. We saw it last
We've seen
year.
this before. Yeah, we saw this
yeah.
before.
We either saw it last year or the year before. But essentially, it's an interactive story that you're kind of.
Where like they
that
see
you-
a murder or something.
I think they're either involved in a murder or a bank robbery or something, and then 20
Yeah.
years later, the girl has grown up or something to find the
Mhm.
kid.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I don't know this for sure, but I think some of the people that worked on this originally worked with like David Cage on like and his Quantum Dream Studio with like Detroit Become Human and all the games like that. So
See,
I like that.
This is the thing I like about games like this.
Mhm.
So there's a tweet that says, and I want to get it right, and I don't know if I sent it to you, but somebody basically, here it is. Indie games. What if you were a little fly? What if you were a sentient locomotive? What if a sentient locomotive was after you? What if you tidied up a house? What if you were a bear who runs a B&B? That's indie games, right? And this look more like an indie game.
Mhm.
AAA games. What if you had a gun?
Yeah.
And that's the like so. I'm interested in different narratives that take that transports you to a different place. And this looks like some of the comics or graphic novels that I read. This looked like something from Ed Brubaker. This looked like something from Chip Zdarsky. This looks like Stillwater. It looks like something that's different, like a Quarry.
Hmm.
And so I'm interested in seeing more games like this that changes the narrative, like a Heavy Rain, something that changes your perspective and transports you to new places, that doesn't just put a gun in your hand, first person shooter, and the Diarrhea Christmas Lights. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Diarrhea Christmas Lights. I love Doom. I
Hmm.
love Rage. I love machine games and Private Blaskowitz. But here's something different, and I appreciate that.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Trying to find that. Um, nice. What's the next one? Next one was boom, boom, boom. Oh, your boy Vin Diesel Arc 2. I thought that game already came out because I remember seeing the trailer maybe 2 years ago. Leroy left for a second. I don't know where he's going. Did you leave and then come back? I don't know what Leroy's doing right now.
So we really go talk about R2?
Oh wow, that's wow. Okay, did not know where you're going with that.
You saw
I'm just saying
I
you
love
brought up Vin Diesel.
I love how you were like, we got this new technology. I was like, Leroy has left the chat and I can hit that button. When you said Vin Diesel and Art, I was like, nope.
Okay, I mean we don't have to talk about it. He's
I'm
on a
just
dinosaur.
like, here's
Next.
the thing though. He supposedly likes video games. And he saw that and was like, yeah, make it happen.
I mean I don't know what the gameplay is. It might be awesome.
Who cares?
Wait, hold
It's
on.
2022, sir.
Wait, what? Why are you upset? Because it has dinosaurs? What are you?
Because it looks like it's from 2002.
Wait, no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Hold up. What are you?
Sure.
Hold on. I don't think you remember what games in 2002 look like. This game uses Unreal Engine 5, which didn't exist in 2002. You ain't seeing CG looking like this in 2002.
Sir, those facial expressions in the gameplay looked like hot garbage.
We don't know what the gameplay is.
We did because we saw Art 2 gameplay before when they had the first teaser a couple of years ago and it looked like trash then. They just
We didn't have any
prettied this
gameplay
up.
in that. That was just a cinematic.
What I'm saying is if your cinematic ain't good, sir, if your cinematic is trash 2 years ago, your gameplay ain't going to be revolutionary now. I'm sorry, baby. Look at that. That does not look good. I'm sorry.
Chat, y'all let me know. I mean, I think this looks fine. I don't know what he wants.
Here's the thing.
Hmm.
What would you rather play? Ark in 2023 or Horizon Zero Dawn?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's all I got to say about that.
But that's not about how it looks. I mean, I know what Horizon Zero Dawn is. I don't know what this is.
There you go.
I don't think that was what you wanted to
What
say.
I'm
But all right.
what I'm saying is this: we saw a cinematic 2 years ago, a year ago, and that's a
Something
cinematic,
like
right?
that.
That was a cinematic, and
Yeah,
we
that's
both
cinematic. Yeah.
and we both talked about the cinematic was trash, right?
Hmm.
So if your cinematic, the thing that you want to sell me on, is not great, and I'm
Hmm.
not knocking Vin Diesel. I enjoy Fast and Furious. I want him to get off his ass and make a final Riddick movie. I need him to close out this Riddick.
Quadrilogy? What if you want a fourth one?
Yeah, I do because I like
Okay.
the last Riddick. I think Chronicles of Riddick was I think Pitch Black was awesome. I think Riddick was pretty good. I thought Batista was great in that when he was like, "Yeah, let's cut him loose." I loved it.
Um, that is the one where he was so manly. He had sex with the lesbian and made her straight. Am I
they
correct?
didn't have sex, sir.
Are you sure?
Yep, I just watched it like 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
They
Oh,
didn't have sex. She
okay.
rescued him, and she was like, "Yeah, I would do him," but they didn't have sex.
Okay.
They
All
didn't.
right.
However, comma, what I'm saying is that if your cinematic, the thing that should sell me on your game, isn't top notch, I have no faith in your gameplay. And Ark's gameplay in the beginning wasn't great. A lot of people had problems with it, was very buggy. And Vin Diesel signed his name to it and said, I want to do this. And he was like, yeah, let's make this happen. Meanwhile, I can ride a Zoid dinosaur as Aloy, and I know how that plays, I know how it looks.
Mhm.
You're going to tell me whatever this art thing is going to be as good or comparable to Horizon Zero with Aloy? No, it's not.
I don't need it to be. I just need it to be fun.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna be fun.
Okay. Fair enough.
I would,
What?
I wager 3 ounces of breast milk that it won't be fun.
That's too rich for my blood, sir. I'm not getting involved with that.
That is liquid
Next
gold
up
right now.
is Flintlock, Siege of
That
Dawn.
that did look good. I liked it.
That one was cool. Kind of a what was it? Open world RPG
Hey, buddy,
combines gods and guns. Will
Michael,
be
look,
available.
honey, look at the honey badger.
Wow.
Say hey, honey badger.
Is
You're
he
supposed to.
sleeping?
Yeah, this is the honey badger.
Hey, honey badger.
Ah, there we go.
There
That's
we
what I
go.
call him. He's my
Okay.
honey badger. Because you know why?
Yes.
Honey
Why?
badgers don't give a shit. And he
Okay.
does not give up.
All right.
Yep.
Fantastic. Um,
I'm interested in Flintlock.
yeah. Yeah. Minecraft Legends.
Don't care.
Not for me, but I know people who love Minecraft are excited about it. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Um, I am curious about it in the sense that it is a different take in the Minecraft universe and not just building your own world, but it is I think it's a real time strategy game. That's interesting. I like the fact that they're trying to expand and do different things in the Minecraft universe. I think that's cool.
Okay.
Lightyear Frontier, farming
I,
simulator with mechs. Did you see this one?
no. It sounds like one of the Love, Death, and Robots game vignettes.
Could be. Well, here we can play it.
Yeah, this looks exactly like one of the
You wanted to make a new life for yourself.
that's exactly what this is.
Okay.
So okay. Remember when I told you to watch Love, Death, and Robots?
And I didn't. Yeah.
There's one of the that looks exactly like this.
There we go.
It's like monster aliens show up and you got to shoot them.
hmm I don't know. Because all they really show is just being a farming simulator.
Nah, because that's a mech and it's got
And
rockets on. I saw
while you
that.
explored, you uncovered a mystery. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this. Together.
Lightyear
Yeah.
Frontier.
Yep. Hold on. It was called Suits.
Okay.
Hold on. So I would play that only because I'm trying to pull it up now. I'm sorry.
No, Zayla Maru said just watch Love, Death, and Robots Monday for the first time. And Zayla Maru, what did you think of Love, Death, and Robots? While you find, I'll talk about some of the other games that we probably don't care about.
I
Good.
found it.
Well,
I'm just trying to
I'll
make
wait for you
sure.
to.
So Where's share screen? Here we go. Share screen, window, Chrome tab. Here we go. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that look like this game?
Yeah, a little bit.
Now here's
You pulled this from some Russian site?
this is where I could just find it.
I feel like you just got your computer hacked.
It's on
I
YouTube.
mean, okay.
YouTube is safe.
Yeah.
So okay, so you see right there?
Mhm.
Doesn't it look like this game?
I mean, except for the aliens.
Hold on, let me show you some more of the mechs.
I mean, oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I said I would. How do I stop sharing the screen? There we go.
There you go.
Technology
Salem
works.
Roof, similar art style.
Mm-hmm.
Gunfire Reborn, that was a character shooter. Launches October 2022. Available on Game Pass. Don't know if it's going to be a day one trailer or not. It was a 4-player co-op roguelite. I don't know. Yeah, it's whatever. This, do you remember that one? Gunfire Reborn?
No.
Yeah. And this is one I was excited about.
Probably corny.
You're corny. Shut up.
I am.
Um,
I'm corny and bald. I don't remember this one. The Last Case of Benedict Fox. Okay, I saw the screen for this, but I didn't click on it.
Anguish fills this residence, Benedict. I got a bad
And also,
feeling
what's up with the name Benedict coming back? You notice that?
I mean, I just know Benedict Cumberbatch.
there must be more. That's him. My father. I can guide you through his memories.
What's interesting is you like this game and you're very interested, even though it has
We're close.
Scary stuff?
yeah, it has a very horror feel to it.
Yeah, but because it's like a 2D platformer, I don't really feel like it's going to be, I'm not going to be necessarily immersed like it was 3D, so I don't feel like stuff is going to jump.
It's good
Okay.
to see you, you old devil.
But I think I read somewhere it's kind of like a Metroidvania style game with a horror element. I could be down for that, for sure.
Pull yourself together, Benedict.
That's a cool name. Last Case of Benedict Fox. Yeah, that's a cool name.
I'm just saying, that voice, boy. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that was creepy. That was definitely creepy. Sea of Thieves announced Season 7. They had a cute little trailer about that. New stuff coming to Sea of Thieves. I've never played Sea of Thieves. Whenever you get an Xbox, we should play Sea of Thieves and find some other people to play because apparently it's a lot of fun.
Arr,
You get to be a pirate. That sounds like fun.
sir. Best pirate is Captain Jack Sparrow.
You keep talking about that foolishness. Ravenlock.
I told you. You did not believe me when I told you I love Pirates of the Caribbean. And when you came over and found me watching it, you were like, you really do like this game.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie.
Yeah. Ravenlock was announced. Action-packed fairy tale Ravenlock has been announced for release in 2023.
Son, you didn't hear that.
I just mean because
You don't need that negativity in your life
I
to see.
watched the showcase. I can't remember what that one was, so that doesn't say a lot for it.
Damn.
You know,
Sir, the way you were disrespectful for that game.
so
People put
what
their
you-
heart and soul into it. You were like,
I don't know which one we do, man. It is what it is. That's all I can say. It is what it
it
is.
was disrespectful is what it was.
And be fine. Let's see. Naraka Blade Point coming to Game Pass. This game has been out for a while on PC. but it's finally coming to Game Pass June 23rd. Uh,
That's in
so
2 weeks.
yeah, it's got like 10 million players.
No,
So
it's in 1 week.
yeah, so that's cool for them. Cocoon. This one looked cool to me.
One from Brimley?
I hate you so much. Cocoon is from the guy. Let's see. There you go. The lead designer of Inside and Limbo.
I hadn't heard this one. I didn't see this one. Interesting. I like the art style.
We can add some audio to it.
Okay, I'm not gonna say what that sounded looked like.
Just a little flyboy.
Yeah, that's not what it sounded and looked like.
I'm always down for a puzzle game.
Whiskey Tingle Foxtrot, what just happened?
Who knows? Who knows, man?
Okay, you know what? I'm actually slightly interested in this.
I don't know. It's worlds within worlds.
Oh, that looks ominous, whatever was at the top of that. Okay, I'm down. I'm interested.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I know what I meant to tell you. I meant to take a picture of it, but I was like, remember we were talking about games and like, remember we were talking about Eternights and
Yeah.
like some of the JRPGs kind of push the envelope and some of the things. And like, I saw Catherine on the shelf at one of the game stores I went to, and I was like, that's the box art?
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, oh yeah. I was like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, you guys give no F's.
Yeah, Catherine. Catherine goes there as well.
They were like, me too, man. Me too. This.
Yeah. There was a game coming from Obsidian Entertainment. I like that Obsidian Entertainment is kind of branching out and doing so many different games now because I think they have avowed another RPG. And then they have something called Pentiment, which kind of looks like a medieval times style. I don't know, art style with an RPG that's almost set to like reminds me of like the Canterbury Tales for some reason, like Chaucer. But yeah,
The cuckold.
okay,
That's
that's a terminology we're using. Sure.
I mean, that's one of the stories.
Grounded is leaving early access this year.
My man got cuckolded.
The game where you are essentially like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Whoo! I forgot about newborn diapers. My man.
Just
That's
rough.
real. That's
Okay.
a real smell.
It's a real smell.
That's a real smell.
Airbond Shadow Legacy was announced. You're like
don't
some
remember that
ninja person.
I don't remember that one.
Let's see.
No, I'm always down to be a ninja.
You're like a ninja
Helios.
fighting robots.
They search for someone who does not exist.
One, I like the art style.
Shadow.
What's Naruto doing?
Forgotten child
Don't do that.
of a scattered race. Lost. Until now.
I'm really feeling the art style.
Now they have awakened the Erebon. Now they have awakened me.
Why is he digging in the ground like Bugs Bunny going to Albuquerque?
But I am not their hope. I am their reckoning.
Well, I'm down for this. This looks cool.
Yeah.
The animation style, the art style, the movements.
Zayla Maru agrees. Yeah, this looks good.
Drag
I'm down
me
for this.
into their light.
Airbond Shadow Legacy.
Because their light is a
Naruto
lie.
fights robots.
Oh, That was a cool
Naruto.
animation. All right, cool.
Naruto Fights Robots coming to Game Pass.
All right, let's see what else we got. We had a game from Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo, Wolong Final Dynasty.
I saw that. Is this
Yeah.
the Monkey Prince game? The
Who?
do you remember that trailer that was like 10 minutes?
No,
Full
that's
of
a different.
magic?
That's a different game.
Did it not remind you of that game though?
Kinda, yeah, but this one's different.
Okay.
I can do transitions now. That's fun.
Calm down, Switcher boy.
I'm just saying, I can do stuff.
So I saw the clip of this and I thought this was just a poor man's Onimusha at first.
A poor man's Onimusha.
Because they didn't have like the demons and the potions and
Well, he just took a potion and became a demon.
hold on. You remember Onimusha,
Uh-huh.
right? I was like, just call it Onimusha.
I mean, it's not made by Capcom, but they can call it.
That's what
Onimusha.
that's why I was like, it's a poor man's Onimusha.
Not a poor man's Onimusha.
If it ain't Onimusha, it's a poor man's version of it.
Damn. That's rough.
You know me. If I don't see gameplay, I don't trust it.
DC is Onimusha is a franchise I need to bring back.
Agreed.
Starfield, we talk about that. So that was it, pretty much. We hit everything.
What would you give this presentation for Microsoft?
I gave it a 7.
Hold on. Keep in mind what we talked about. Microsoft had to knock it out of the park, considering they bought all these first-party studios. So was this a presentation that made you say, yes, Microsoft brought it?
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.
Really?
Yeah. I enjoyed it more than I didn't enjoy it. I mean, if they had brought it, I'd probably give it a 9 or a 10. That state of play that we talked about, I probably would give that. I don't remember what I gave it then.
You
But comparing it to-
you rated it high.
Yeah, I would probably give that maybe an 8 or a 9. So maybe I'll give this a 6 or a 7, maybe something like that.
That's why I'm not high on either one of these.
Yeah.
I'd give this a 6, a solid 6.
Mhm.
I like the fact that they showed Starfield. I like the fact that they showed Redfall, but none of these games that they showed were like I'd buy an Xbox or I would renew a Game Pass for this.
Herbert Thornton. So are they no longer doing weekend streams? Herbert, we're doing streams whenever we can. I don't know if you noticed, Leroy has a little one with him, a new little one, not just one, but now 2 little ones.
A whole
So-
7-pound.
So we kind of do streams whenever Leroy is available. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's kind of
So-
what it is.
We are going to do another one this Saturday, but I
News
texted
to me,
Michael.
but okay.
You know we were doing a Saturday one.
I didn't know that. We didn't do one last Saturday.
She was having a baby, sir.
And
She
your
was.
words were, "I'm going to take the laptop to the hospital."
I
Those
was
were
gonna
your
take it.
words.
I was going to take it, but then we came home, and I was like, "Oh, we don't have the hospital staff here to help."
I'm just saying that's what you said to me.
Because at the hospital, I could have got away with it because
'Cause
I had people who would have waited on his hand and foot.
Uh-huh.
At the house, he's got me.
Okay, so there we
So,
go.
Now that my
Um,
in-laws are here, I can do this. But yeah,
Okay.
we'll try to knock this out Saturday. But what I was saying was, I give this a 6.
Mhm.
Nothing that they showed, although they were good games, they were stuff that caught my interest. Even though seeing it, Wo Long looked great, but I didn't see gameplay. I don't know how that game's going to play. So until I do, it's a poor man's Onimusha. I like Cocoon. Cocoon looked interesting. I liked Naruto Fights Robots.
I think that game was called Zerabon or something.
Erebon. I need you to get it right if you're going to defend it.
You can't even name it right, so I'll call it whatever I want.
It's called Erebon, but it's Naruto Fights
I'll
Robots.
call it Ninja Robot Girl. Whatever.
I mean, you don't know that's a girl. So don't assume her identity, her gender.
Sure.
But that's the problem that I've always had with Microsoft is I want to give them my money. I want to give Microsoft them my money because I want them to continue to do what they do. I think they have some good first party games. However, I need them to bring it to force the other studios to bring it as well, because I feel like Microsoft and Sony forced Nintendo to do something different, which gave us the Switch. And them forcing Nintendo to do something different gave us the Breath of the Wild, which I would say, would you not say it's one of the top 20 games of all time?
Yeah,
Is it,
probably so.
has it made your Pantheon the top 25?
Yeah.
Like it changed the way you viewed Zelda. And I think that's due to the fact that Microsoft and Sony challenged Nintendo to do something different. And that's what I want Microsoft to do. Do something different. Show me that you have the stones or whatever you want to call it, the huevos, the backbone to bring to the table something that makes people stand up and say, I have to buy your system. I have to buy Game Pass.
Okay.
And then I did not see that yet, but I will buy a system because I want to play Starfield and I want to play it on a console.
Chat for anybody who's new or seeing us it's been a minute. I'm putting in a link. That link is to our new YouTube channel, the We Trying channel. It's harder to find than we'd like, but we're trying to fix that by getting more people to subscribe to us so it's easier to find. But that link will let you know for our new YouTube channel. We Trying. You can also find us there on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, for all those different areas. Yeah. You got anything else?
Nah, man. I mean, I enjoyed what I did see. Just I wish. Here's the thing, and I started it, and I'm going back to what I originally said. I liked State of Play what they did. I thought they did a pretty good job. I liked what Jeff Keighley did. I think having a live studio audience for the summer is different than having a game awards, and it showed. And I think what Microsoft did was okay. Now, what we need is E3 to come back to combine all of that into one show.
Sure.
We need it, and let me go on the record of saying we need E3. The business needs E3 because here's the thing: what a lot of people don't understand and don't realize, you have these individual conventions for your fans. That's great. You're not going to make the 11 o'clock news with your Bethesda Microsoft convention. You're not going to reach a new audience with your individual showcases. You're going to reach a new audience. You're going to capture new gamers and new people to get interested by having one showcase, one huge summer event that
Sure.
has, again, that we couldn't have, that has live elements, that has celebrities, whether they are gaming celebrities, movie celebrities, showcasing. You need a San Diego Comic Con for gaming. You need a New York Comic Con for gaming. You
Mhm.
need that. And this showed that Microsoft is great at selling their products to Microsoft people.
Okay.
So they need all three of these companies need to so all three of these entities need to get together and pair back up with E3 and figure out a way to bring this, because just like CES, that stuff makes it into mainstream media. Everybody from Fox News to MSNBC to CBS to ABC covers it. And then we can pull resources from the mainstream media to cover it to get things out. And then that helps us get new converts to buy new consoles to fuel this industry further.
Sure.
And that's the problem that I have with these things. Even though I like them, they're niche things. They need to pull their resources together. And I don't know if they're willing to do this now that they know that they can do it individually.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a question of what the return on investment is, because
Hmm.
it's definitely cheaper to do your own thing, but you wonder how big of an audience you're reaching for sure.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know maybe it's Jeff Keighley can be the one to pull everybody together. Like, hey, we need to come back and do an E3, but let's do it under my thing instead of E3.
Because here's the
Both
thing, he used to work for E3.
he was contracted under them, yeah.
Hmm.
Both E3 with ESA, who owns the E3, um, and Jeff Keighley, who does Summer Game Fest, both entities have said we're going to be back next year with virtual and in-person events. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to do them at the same time, like they did 2 years ago, whatever that was. If they do, who's going to win out? I don't know. It'll be fun to see.
Here's the thing and the reason why I say that you need one huge convention, because I don't know who it would be, but imagine if Jeff Keighley could go on Kimmel. Uh,
Well, it would be Fallon.
what I'm saying is he could be on all three.
Sure.
You need that person or persons who can sell this to the audience so that you can not only get new gamers but get people back into gaming so that you can dispel this narrative that gaming causes violence. It hasn't caused sports. And we've had this conversation before. I've played, how many times have you played Madden or Def Jam, basketball or Street, and you were like, you know what? I want to go play a pickup game right now. So I think that having one convention, having all of these entities under one umbrella, at least for once, kind of like the video game awards, helps showcase the best of this genre, of this industry. And I think that's what's missing. And that's what I think when we were talking about like Todd Howard. I think Todd Howard is fine. I think the problem is when we watch these things, you're thinking, what is it missing? And this 15-minute showcase of Starfield was great, but we need all of them under one umbrella.
Hmm.
And I think that's that 1-2 punch. You need the developers with the entertainers and the presentation and live studio audience to really bring it home. And people are like, I don't, whether you're an Xbox person, a Microsoft person, or whether you're a PC person or a Sony person or a Nintendo person. And D. Steves was right. E3 was already struggling before the pandemic, and the pandemic just drove a nail into the coffin that buried it. But now we realize how much we need an E3 and
Hmm.
all of these pretenders to the throne. Um, say what you will about Cersei from Game of Thrones. She ran a tight ship,
Hmm.
and that's how I feel about E3. Talk all the mess you want about the Lannisters, but they pay their debts. And that's what we need E3. And that's what I say about recapping Xbox and Bethesda. As nice as it was, it did make me want to buy an Xbox. But I think paired with other studios, other software companies, other hardware companies, that energy, that synergy from those things will propel this industry and may get somebody to say, hey, I Microsoft showed something that Sony didn't show. And I think that's what's missing.
On that note, folks, that's going to be it for us because Leroy wants to keep talking. I want to go to sleep.
I want to go change this baby's diaper because he smells like trash.
Oh, why you ain't shut up like 10 minutes ago then?
Because these people hadn't seen us and they needed us.
I mean, they saw me.
I said what I said.
Okay. Folks,
I
we'll be
said
back.
I said us.
We'll be back possibly Saturday if Leroy has the time.
I may
I don't
have a
know.
baby with me.
You probably will.
I may have a dog with me.
Thank you for tuning in. Find us, like I said, on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those places. We
You know you
trying
can
or
just
we
do
trying,
this.
y'all. I me saying it fast. Well, I don't want to put the thing up because I'm about to do another transition.
Oh.
See, you know how directing works.
Yeah, but I was trying to get to. That's why I said you got to put that up
I
because
already
that's
put
how
that up.
directing works.
I
But
already put that up.
you didn't put it up when you said it.
I didn't want to because I already said it.
But you put it up when you say it. It's like putting up Crime Stoppers. You say Crime Stoppers and put the number up at the same time.
You work at that station. You know that don't happen all the time.
It did when you were there.
I ain't there no more.
Okay then.
All right, folks. That's it. We out.
Peace. Hit that